Hi there, my name is Axel. I'm a former registered BAS agent in Australia, which is a tax compliant professional bookkeeper. I'm building Genvice, but today I want to talk to you about my favorite non-AI tech tools for bookkeepers. So these are the tools that I used to love when I was a bookkeeper, and I ran a small practice, and I think they're really suitable for small practices and new bookkeepers. So thanks very much for your time. Let's go. All right. So the first of 5 tools is XBert, and I thought this was really handy because it used to double check my work. It's partly AI, but essentially it audits client files across all your clients and tells you where the gaps are in data, or there's something that looks erroneous or looks like an error, and it flags things that you would miss day to day. I found it really useful. So I used to pick up a lot of things very easily. You could often fix those problems in the XBert platform itself, so it saved a lot of time. But the biggest benefit I found is that if you could connect XBert to a prospective client's file, either their Xero or their QuickBooks or other platforms that they connect to, then you could get a very quick indication of the quality of the client's books. So rather than having to kind of guess what you would charge a client, XBert provided a very quick analysis and really helped with pricing decisions. So it could tell you if the client had a dog's breakfast for a set of books or whether they were clean, and XBert could do that analysis rather fast, and it saved me a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of less income by helping me price things better, and I think that was worth its weight in gold. The second tool I'm talking about is Ignition. When I signed up for this, it was called Practice Ignition, but it's now rebranded to just Ignition. What this tool does is it allows clients to sign contracts or engagement letters, and then it would take payments on a set period from your clients. So it was both a contract and engagement letter signing platform, quote approvals, and then it would take payments to the other side based on how you set it up. I found it really. It was the first app that I took on board that made me feel like a genuine professional. It was so easy for clients. They would get an email, they'd click on a link, they'd e-signature the proposal, and then they would set up their payment details. It was really smooth. It's a really professional piece of software. And it was so handy. Rather than manually invoicing clients and chasing up payments, it would just set people up on a direct debits. They knew ahead of time when they were being charged. The actual customizations for each proposal, it was really easy to use, but it was actually very customizable. So they'd have templates and defaults, but you could change it to kind of whatever to a variety of things that could fit your particular client base. So I found it an amazing piece of software. The third of the fifth was Dext Prepare. Now I've got to say Dext Prepare because I think Dext has a few other. I think there's Dext Commerce and also Dext Precision, but Dext Prepare is kind of like a heavy-duty version of HubDoc. So essentially, it would collect receipts and invoices, and to a lesser extent, bank statements, and it would very simply pump this information en masse into your client accounting platform files. Now I found it really highly accurate. That was the biggest benefit. So I found some of the other platforms were less accurate, but this one was really good. It was really good at capturing all the details, making it simple, making it really fast. And that, when you're dealing with tens or hundreds of invoices a week or bills a week, that speed and automation is absolutely critical. That one, it works, and two, you can get into the files quickly while also giving you an overview of actually what's happening. So it's not the cheapest, to be honest. So and you've got to buy it in batches. When I did it, you had to buy like a certain number of clients to be able to access it, a certain number of files to be able to access it. So it's not the cheapest, but it was really high quality, and I do recommend it. There is also a special mention. So Dext is kind of like the gold standard of what HubDoc is. So HubDoc is bundled free with Xero. It's decent. It's decent. You can basically get the similar sorts of features for free with your Xero subscription. So free, it's always excellent. It handles it pretty well. But Dext Prepare was kind of like the premium, high quality, like roll gold version of what HubDoc does. But HubDoc's worth a special mention. Now, tool number 4 is actually 2 tools in one, and this is Calendly and Zoom. And both of them are very good tools. as it is, and I don't think they need much explanation. Calendly is a meeting booking platform. Zoom is the conference calls and team meetings and video platform. So I think since COVID, no one really needs to explain what Zoom is anymore. But these work really well in tandem. So I've actually concluded them as a winning combination. And this is where you can essentially put out your Calendly link for your meeting schedule. It would then, if you have them linked together well, you can basically tee everything up, early warning, reminder emails, capture client details, have the meeting set up, have it recorded, all the things you needed for what I found best for, even though you can have it in ongoing client meetings. It was those initial client meetings, those onboarding sessions and discovery calls. It made it a really smooth experience to pick up leads and get talking to your client in that initial call. And I don't think that spectacular and sexy, but they just work really well together. And for a small firm, for their cost, good free versions on both. I think it's a really good winner for new bookkeepers and small practices. And the final batch is these are, if you can't tell by my accent, I was Australian. I worked in the Australian market. I was a registered BAS agent, as I said, which is the registered Australian bookkeeper. And these two are Australian specific. Actually, I don't know if Alltel is overseas, but maybe not. But Alltel, essentially, for a reasonably low cost, you could have a professional 1300 or 1800 number or particular number, and any calls your office got, it would be answered by a professional receptionist. They would take the initial client caller details, and then they would forward the call on to you and say, oh, listen, this is so-and-so from so-and-so, they want to talk to you. Now, not only as a one-person operation in my practice working by myself, it made me sound very professional to have a receptionist take my calls and collect details. It made it very handy if I was out of the office or currently unavailable. And also, if you're running a small business, the moment your name gets out there into the world, that you start getting a lot of spam calls and a lot of scam calls. So they did also, that was really good for them to filter that, because the amount of calls you get from random people or scam calls or spam calls, it was really nice to have a gatekeeper that was the receptionist. And it was a reasonably low cost service, and I just found it good value, and that's why it's worth a mention. HR Central is a unique one. So HR Central is a HR consultancy, or they're a specialist HR advice. And while they have much larger high cost packages for people that want to engage with them, they have special deals for registered BAS agents and bookkeepers in Australia, where they give you a very low cost service. It was only $15 or $20 a month when I had it, and it was very low cost on the provision that you would sometimes try and refer people to their larger engagements. And what they did is they would provide HR support. So in Australia, it's enough getting on top of tax rules, superannuation rules, a whole bunch of other, ASIC rules, tax protection. Well, there's enough regulators in Australia to keep you busy for a very long time. And so knowing all the Fair Work rules and HR rules is a very specialist field, and they would provide on-call and on-email support for specialist HR issues. I think for the $15 a month I paid for it, it was very good value for when it was needed. It wasn't needed that often, but it was good to have, and it was reasonably decent. And that's essentially it. I used a few in the end, and I tried out many, but the ones I just mentioned were the absolute wow. They were really good. I was really happy with their service, and I'm really happy to be a subscriber to. So essentially that's it. What do you think? Have you tried any of these? Do you like any others? And there's a typo there, but did you want to hear about my favorite AI tools in another video? So please comment below, please share, and best of success with your bookkeeping firm journey. And I'd love to hear from you. All right, cheers. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.